The default units will depend on what template I'm using. This can be changed in the options. But to change the units right now, I can go up here to the Define menu and click Units. In this dialog, I can change the units for any of these parameters. I can change them for just the display, which is what I can see, or I can change them for the actual model and the display by making the changes in the Model Units tab. There are also some defaults here that I can use to quickly change all the units to a specific system. Once I've changed to my desired units, I can click OK to confirm. Now I can switch to the Grid tool to set up my grid. There's a couple modes available to us here. In Auto mode, I can quickly change the elevation and spacing of the current grid. So you can see that if I type in a new elevation and hit Enter, the grid moves up. And if I type in a new spacing and hit Enter, the spacing of the current grid changes. In Create mode, I can customize both the size and spacing of the grid. The notation used here indicates that I want the grid to start at 0 and have 10 lines with 1 meter in between. And I can use this notation to customize the grid in the X, Y, or Z directions. Now I can click Create and the grid system is created. The tool automatically switches to View mode, where I can choose which grid system I would like to see. In the View and Auto modes, there is also an option to input a grid snap minor spacing. This will create snap points within the actual grid lines. For example, here the grid line spacing is 1 meter, and the grid snap minor spacing is also 1 meter. Now if I try to insert an isolated footing, I can only snap onto the actual grid intersection points. But if I go back to the Grid tool and change the grid snap minor spacing to 1/2 meter, I can now insert an isolated footing at invisible grid intersection points that are 1/2 meter apart. And once I'm done setting up my units and grid lines, I can now start modeling my foundation.